question for you. If you are a user of Scentsy products, most people that use Scentsy products have mass quantities stocked up. Maybe not everyone has mass quantities, but most people have at least a little bit extra stocked up. I'm curious, how are you storing that? Tell me in the comments below how you are storing your Scentsy wax. That is exactly what we are going to be talking about today, guys. Hey there, my name is Jami Jo, and I am a Scentsy consultant. I've actually had a partnership with Scentsy for over 15 years now. I've been working with them since October of 2008. So I have lots of Scentsy products, even from that long ago. I actually have some products that are 15 years old. And what I want to do today is tell you guys how it is recommended that you store your Scentsy products to ensure that you get the best experience from your products. First, we're going to start talking about Scentsy wax, because this is our top selling product. Our company started with wax and warmers, so this is our top selling product right here, is wax of all different kinds. All different scents, I should say. They are all made the same way, but different fragrances. First, let's talk about Scentsy's wax. So Scentsy wax is a paraffin-based wax. And there's a couple different reasons that we choose paraffin-based wax. The first reason is paraffin wax has the highest scent loading ability. That means that we can put the most fragrance oil in paraffin wax over any other type of wax, over soy wax, beeswax, any type of wax. Paraffin wax is going to hold the most fragrance oils. And guys, we're a fragrance company. We want to be able to put the most fragrance in there so you can enjoy the strongest fragrance for the longest amount of time. So that's one reason we choose paraffin-based wax. Another reason is the melting point of paraffin wax. Paraffin wax melts at a lower temperature. That means that our warmers can use lower heat sources, whether it is the heating element or a light bulb. We can use lower wattage and lower heat source for that wax. Yeah, it's great because it means it's going to be safer around your kids than other warmers that don't limit their heat source. But also it means it's going to warm this at a lower and slower temperature. That means you're going to get more fragrance out of it. We're going to continue to talk about temperature and fragrance all throughout this video, but that means that you're going to enjoy the fragrance a little bit longer since it's melting at a lower point. And then the third reason is for the firmness of the wax. Let me show you why I recommend that you always store your bars like this. The perforated side down. You want that down. You do not want to hang them, and you definitely do not want to sit them like this. I am going to use one of my bars to show you the reason why. Now, this is a bar I've had in my stash for a while, and I want to show you something. What you're seeing right there is sometimes called sweating of Scentsy bars. It looks totally nasty, it looks icky, but there is nothing wrong with this bar. I can still use this Scentsy bar. It is just the fragrance oil separating from the wax, because I told you we are putting the most oil in this wax that we possibly can. And sometimes maybe we get a little too much. Now, if you experience this in your Scentsy bars, really all you need to do is grab a paper towel, give it a quick wipe, and it's cleaned up and good as new, good to go. So you can use that without getting it all icky all over your fingers. Just toss that in the trash can and put your wax in your warmer as you normally would. Now here's the thing. That was pooled on the top of the wax because of how I store it. I always store it like this. Had I had this bar hanging, there is a possibility that it could have started dripping out of the sides here. Or if I had it stored like this, there is a possibility that it would have made a complete mess in the lid. So you can see that this one is having sweating all over. Now, what causes the sweating other than way tons of fragrance oil in there? They say that sometimes changes in temperatures can affect that as well. So let's talk about temperature of where you should store your Scentsy bars. Your Scentsy bars should always be stored in a dark and cool place. If you have tons of Scentsy wax stored up, we suggest that you get some sort of Rubbermaid tote or some sort of tote or shoe box even, and stack all your bars like this. Remember, we always want the perforated side down. Stack them in that box and close it up so it is kept really dark in there. And then you want to keep that box somewhere in a very cool space. You never want it next to your laundry dryer, your clothing machine dryer. You do not want it near your stove or your oven. You don't want it near your fireplace, because heat and sunlight, light puts off heat. So heat and sunlight are going to make fragrance go faster. That is the source that we use to disperse our fragrance. That's why our warmers have to warm the wax to disperse the fragrance. So you want to make sure that you are keeping those bars stored flat in a cool and dry place. Now let's talk about some of our other Scentsy products. Our Scentsy pods. It really doesn't matter how they're stored hanging up this way or this way, because there's no oils to leak out of them. All of the fragrance is trapped or encapsulated in those beads inside the pod. So you don't have to worry about drips of oil, but you still want to keep these in a nice cool and dry place. If you have some of our other products like a scent circle or maybe a car bar or even a scent pack, you want to make sure that you keep these fully sealed until you're ready to use them. And you guessed it, you want to keep them in a really cool, dry place. Now, another thing that's really important is if you are one of those people that is constantly ordering new Scentsy fragrances, you want to remember first in, first out. Think of it just like they stock. I was going to say store and then I was going to say stock, and it came out really weird. So I want you to think about how they stock grocery store shelves. If there is some canned corn on the shelf and they get another shipment of canned corn in, they're not just going to slide the old to the back and put the new in the front. They're going to put the new stuff in the back, so they make sure that they sell that stuff that's going to go out of date faster. It's the same idea with your Scentsy products. You want to use the older products before you start using the new ones. Now, I know that's really hard, and I don't always follow that rule because, trust me, when I get some new exciting things in, I want to use it. But because I am storing my products properly, I don't really have to stress about that. If there is something brand new that comes out that I want to use, I can still do that. Now, I keep all of my Scentsy stuff in a closet. It's actually right behind me. I try to remember to keep the light turned off in the closet, and I try to keep the temperature regulated somewhat. But let me tell you, this space that I'm in right here is a converted garage. It is not attached to my normal air conditioning and heating system. I just have a little small unit in this room. And that perhaps is why this bar had that sweating on it and sweating even on the bottom of the bar. I try to keep the temperature regulated in this room, but sometimes things happen. I do live in Oklahoma. It gets insanely hot here in the summer. And while I can do everything within my power to try and keep those bars cool, I live in Oklahoma. So sometimes they do get warm. That's why it's so important that I changed my storage system. I used to keep everything hung up. It just didn't take up as much space. It was fabulous, but I took out all of my pegboard with my hooks on it, and all I have is shelves now. So all of my bars are stored flat, so I don't have to worry about that leakage. Guys, hopefully you learned something new today. Hopefully I gave you a new little tip or trick, something you did not know before. That is what these videos are for. So if you learned something today, tell me in the comments what you learned from me, and I would love for you to subscribe to my channel so you will always know about the latest and greatest Scentsy products and tips and tricks as well. If you're ready to order some more Scentsy, I would love to help you do that. You can jump onto my website anytime. It is JamiJoSellsWax.com. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. Ask them here on this video. Find me on social media on Facebook or Instagram on Jami Jo Sells Wax, or shoot me a text. You can reach me anytime via text to 918-888-9690, and I love chatting with you guys that way. Guys, my name is Jami Jo, and I hope that you have a sensational day.